Welcome inside the State Champs Studios for another edition of State Champs Hockey Time. I'm Jonathon Kidd, along with Sean Baligian. Sean, how are you?
This is great. Are you kidding me? You know, with so much action before the holiday. By the way, I hope everybody has a great holiday, Merry Christmas, all that stuff. But there's a lot of hockey to talk about, Johnny.
Oh, absolutely. State Champs Hockey Time is presented by our friends at the Auto Equipment Company. Before we get going here, Sean, you just released your new rankings. You can find them on statechampsnetwork.com.
Yeah, you know what? It was difficult. You know, there's so many good teams right now that are jockeying all over the place. I personally, for me, and this is a good problem to have, John, I thought it was tough to condense that 25 to 30 area. That's a good problem because you're seeing a lot of programs go like this, and but it's fun doing it. You know, it really is, and again, it's a testament to all the good hockey that's being played all across the great state of Michigan.
Let's recap what happened across high school hockey last week. Let's start downriver. Trenton, they took on Riverview, Gabriel. They exact revenge. They beat them 4-1. Hey, shout out to my cousin, Caleb Kidd. He's a defenseman on the team. You know, he gave that nomination to Isaac for the Flow Challenge. You know, maybe I get invited for Christmas this year.
No, you know what? Any cousin of yours is a cousin of mine. Hey, listen, Trenton is living up to the expectations. We talked them up, heck, a few weeks before the season started, and they're backing it up right now. They have two goaltenders. What a nice problem to have.
It's like a 1A and a 1B.
Yeah, two goaltenders that can go out any night and get the job done. How about Will Barrett? He's off to a beautiful start right now. This is a darn good team, and, you know, that's reflected certainly in our latest rankings.
And on Saturday, they beat U of D Jesuit 3-2, and you put them up to 5 now in the rankings.
Yeah, they deserve it. I think you look at the body of work. Buzz is only going to take you so far because, you know, a lot of teams have buzz going into the season, but when you back it up by winning games the way they have and beating the caliber of opponent that they have, certainly the Trojans, not that they went anywhere, but certainly the Trojans are back.
On Saturday night, it was the battle at the park between Plymouth and Salem. This was a doozy. 4-3, Plymouth came out with the victory, and they're the park champs.
You know what's interesting? Completely out of nowhere, an opposing coach, I was at a game a couple days earlier to that, and an opposing coach came up to me and was talking up Plymouth and said, these guys have taken a big step, vastly improved. You can see that the coaching's working. Flynn Bright is a guy, his name's been out there for a couple of years. There's a reason why he's knocking on the door of the wall. 218 goals against average, 906 save percentage. How about Jackson Warzecha? I hope I'm saying that correctly. 9 goals on the season, 5 assists, 14 points. This is a team, speaking of knocking on the door, that's knocking on that top 25 door. So congratulations to the Wildcats, to be sure.
We stay in the KLAA for the battle between Hartland and Brighton. And Hartland, you have now 7th in your rankings. They shut out Brighton 5-0.
Well, I say it every week. I think they're getting better every week, and I'm going to start adding this every week. This will be an old bit. Watch Hartland play. The way they move the puck better than anybody else in the state. I have no problem saying that. Drew Lesperance, there are about 62 of those Lesperances, right? He's number 58 out of 62?
Kind of like with the Pytillas and the Locuses in the world.
He's off to a solid start. I'm going to tell you what. Ian Castamo is one of the most entertaining players to watch. It's been great to watch him grow the last couple of years. To me, he is a hockey player. Watch that kid play. He is really a joy to watch. I think, you know, if you're telling a young kid, you know, how do you want to play at this level? Watch him. He really is a joy to watch. And Ricky Gadwa's got another dangerous Hartland squad.
We've been talking about the Bay City Wolves for a while here on Hockey Time. They cracked your rankings 18th now, and they beat Forest Hill Central 5-2 at the Bay City Showcase last week.
Well, you know, everybody's talking about Gunner, and rightfully so. 11 goals, 4 assists, 15 points. They're getting some tremendous goaltending as well. And Nash Leonard is a young man. His save percentage is .935, .244 goals against. Johnny, they were a team that made some noise last year, but they're a team that's looking to take the next step. And we say it all the time on this show, and I said it earlier in the show. There can be all the buzz you want, but when you go out and you beat teams and you beat those highly ranked teams, that is all the buzz you need. You don't have to talk anymore because you let your play speak for itself. So congratulations to the Wolves on this start.
We head to northern Michigan, and Northville took the trip to take on the Bay Reps. They played them twice on Friday and Saturday. Northville won game 1. Bay Reps won the second game.
Yeah, 2 top 25 teams. I like this Northville team. I think this is a well-coached team. LaFair and Vysotsky up front getting it done. And the reps, Grant Lucas, there's a reason so many people are talking him up. He's got 16 goals and 25 points already on the season. Ethan Coleman, not to be undone, 21 points on the season. And they're getting some great goaltending. This is a name that we might want to remember and start talking to some of the boys out there. How about Boynton Fisher with a 191 goals against average? But it's nice for the home team to get back and exact some revenge. And two good teams getting together, it doesn't surprise me that one wins one and the other wins the other.
We head to the east side as number 23 Romeo took on Rochester Stoney Creek, and Romeo came out with a 4-1 victory.
Well, not only was there some impressive flow in that locker room, as you saw, you put out the video and everything. Keep an eye on this team and keep an eye on Spencer Groskowitz. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Mom and Dad, but 11 goals, 11 assists on the season, 22 points. Romeo is a team to look out for. Again, take a look at what they've done so far. Look at the body of work. Keep an eye on them moving forward.
And the rest of the competition there in the MAC conference. You have Marysville. Shout out to LaValle. He scored his 100th point.
Yeah, you know what? And that's something that we've talked about the last couple of years. And, we've seen some of those teams pop in and pop out of the rankings. And just keep winning. There's, what? I say it all the time. Sometimes, John, you have some coaches, well, what do I have to do to get more buzz? Right? Win some games.
Yeah, win.
Like really,
yeah.
win some games against some big opponents. We're always going to try to mention everybody because regardless of the rankings, there are always great stories going on. But
especially with Chippewa Valley United, Anchor Bay, and Lansing Cruise Unified in that conference.
And you know what?
And Utica Eisenhower.
And at the end of the day, it's nice to get the mentions out there. But if you want to start talking, have yourself in that category of hey, what about us in the top 25? Knock off some top 25 teams. That's the best way you can do it. But in the meantime, we're going to talk you up.
All right, so we head from the
east side to the west side.
As number 3, Byron Center took on number 12, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, and Byron Center remains undefeated with a 5-3 victory.
Remember what we were just talking about, like literally 30 seconds ago? Byron Center is a perfect example of that. They have become a usual suspect. They go out there, they take care of business on the west side, they take care of business wherever they go. Don't forget about Cade Pratt. I don't want that young man to feel overlooked because Lord knows they've had so many incredible players the last few years. Freusland, one of them. But Cade Pratt, 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points on the season so far. Swanson's been outstanding. He's got a $186 goals against average. This is a deep team, a team that can play anybody, anywhere. And I think they are kind of the poster child of that which we were talking about. Hey, you want buzz? The best way to do it is create it yourself by playing those games and winning those games. And certainly that's what BC has done for the last couple of years to become, again, Johnny, one of the usual suspects.
I'd be interested to see who they're going to be playing in the MIHL Showcase in February. Could we see Detroit Catholic Central, Byron Center?
I think that would be fun, and that to me, Johnny, is the best thing. You have an opportunity to pit a Houghton and a Byron Center and these teams that, are really rolling and have an opportunity to say, wow, we could make a big statement in front of all the fans and that great place down in Trenton and so many scouts there and everything. So it would be fun to see.
And talk quick about Grand Rapids Catholic Central. I've had a few coaches said they could be the team to beat in Division III.
Yeah, you know what? Mike Slobodnik is a guy that's he's another one. He's been doing it forever. Obviously, they're getting fantastic goaltending, and this is a situation right now with the Cougars where, if I'm the Cougars, I'm sitting back going, we never won any place. We've kind of been around for a while. We've been a usual suspect as well. So some good things happening out there to be sure.
And we stick on the west side as we talk about the Sparta hockey team.
Yeah, what an interesting story. They're off to a 9-2 start. We've had a few guys mention Caden Gleason, 15 goals, 11 assists, and 26 points. Trevor Serba, 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. I'm intrigued. I think when you're putting up big numbers as an individual, people are going to notice you. When you're putting up big numbers as wins, people are going to talk about you. So a good start for Sparta. Let's see where it goes from here.
All right, it's time now for our Warrior Hockey Player of the Year update. So, Sean, there's a few players knocking on the door, but we're going to wait till after the holidays to make any changes.
There are more than a few players knocking on the door. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think that we're going to have multiple changes. Now, again, Johnny, you and I were just talking. We thought there'd be changes last week, but listen, when guys on the list continue to perform at a high level and continue to, make eye-popping moments, well, how can we take them off? But there are a couple guys that I don't think can be ignored any longer. And, this is where, John, once we get into the new year, traditionally we start to tighten the screws a little bit and, find a way to get this guy or that guy on. So no doubt about it, it is a fantastic thing that we have a top 10. And I love what he did, meaning that guy, this year. You know what? We're not going to do a watch list. We're just going to, we're going to keep an idea of guys that are knocking on the door, because I think the top 10 should be the top 10, and we should do our best to keep it at 10.
You can cast your vote for the top 10 at our website at statechampsnetwork.com. The leading vote getter will never get removed from the list. And that was our Warrior Hockey Player of the Year update.
Attention State Champs Nation! Applications are being accepted right now for the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Male and Female Michigan High School Athlete of the Year Awards. If you are a recognized first-team All-State athlete in a sport or projected to be one this school year, if you have at least an overall 3.0 GPA, and if you have demonstrated leadership through the school or as a community volunteer, we want you to apply. 6 male and 6 female student athletes will be nominated and each awarded $1,000 towards college expenses. The winners will receive $5,000 each. The 27th Athlete of the Year Awards will take place at the Detroit Athletic Club the evening of Monday, June 3rd, and streamed live on the State Champs Sports Network. Nomination applications will be accepted through Friday, March 31st, and this is important. You cannot be nominated if you do not apply. Download the application today at dacathleteoftheyear.com. That's dacathleteoftheyear.com.
All right, it's time now for our Coach's Corner, brought to you by our friends at the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association. I am joined today by the head coach at the Bay City Wolves, Schalk. Zach, welcome to Hockey Time.
Thanks for having me, John. It's a pleasure.
All right, Zach, you're in your 4th season at the Bay City Wolves as the head coach. You guys are in Sean's top 25 rankings now. Just talk about your season so far.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde season for us. I think we'd all agree if the boys were with me, they'd tell you the same thing. We have a lot of expectation based off the success that we've had the last couple of years. So to be in Sean's rankings this early in the season feels great. I think we had a lot of excitement getting that original ranking last year, but now it's turned into an expectation for us. And it's a good expectation to have, and it helps us set our standard that we're trying to reach every day. But I think I would tell you that it's been a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde start. We're learning how to play the consistent way to be in these conversations at being one of the better teams in the area. And we're learning how to do that 24/7 and for 51 minutes. And it's taken a little time, but we're well on our way.
Now, Sean has talked a lot about your guys' social media game. Now, who runs it? Who is the man behind the scenes on your guys' social media page?
It actually started with one of our fathers on the team, Mr. John Weber. He started his own little thing called Clip Keeper there, and he was so gracious to send those clips to my student managers who then post those. I've actually gotten away from trying to run the social media, and I've had student managers doing it the last couple of years. I've had a different kid do it every year, and it's just been kind of flawless. It's pretty cool that we've created an environment that kids that really don't have a hockey background want to be a part of it. I have 10 to 12 kids every year. As soon as school year starts, like, when are you going to have interviews to be your managers? Like, we want to be involved. And so it's a pretty cool thing to see where it's gone and how much attention we've got from it. And that's all part of it, right? Getting kids recognition however we can. And we've tried to do a good job at that.
Obviously, the last few years, the talk has been Gunnar Weber on your team, but we talked before this about your goalie. You want to give a shout out to your goalie?
Yeah, Nash Leonard has been outstanding. Our record is great, and one thing that we know we need to clean up is the kid's facing 40 to 45 shots a game, and he's a rock in there. And I think what sets Nash apart is his competitiveness, and it's what drives him to be great. He is blowing up my phone constantly talking about what he can do better, what he wants to work on, and you don't get that from every kid. And I know every time that I have him in net, I have a chance to win, and not only just a small chance, but a really good chance. And you don't get that every year.
Now, let's talk about the hockey quality in the Mid-Michigan area. Obviously, Flint Powers is the defending Division III state champs. We have talked about Saginaw Heritage, obviously the Bay City Wolves as well. Just talk about the quality of hockey in Mid-Michigan.
Yeah, I think we're a little underrated in some ways, right? Like, you look at the Final Fours the last couple of years, I think we've had somebody there. Really, the last 5 years, we've been well represented, from Midland Dow winning 2 years ago, and Midland had that DCC game, and Flint Powers winning. And we really believe in our product here, and we have great relationships between our coaches and our league, and it's pretty awesome that we have such a competitive league, and we feel good going against anybody in the state. And I think if you were to talk to Travis or JJ or Steve or Cody or Doug, they would agree and say the same thing.
I asked each coach this on the Coach's Corner. What do you love about coaching high school hockey?
I think I kind of just mentioned it a little bit. It's the relationships with the coaches, and it's pretty cool just how much my pile of, I would say, friends has grown because of it. And, even just hosting the showcase that we hosted last weekend, you meet new people, you come in contact with them, scheduling gets a little bit easier. So it's the relationship piece. And in terms of the coaching, it's just awesome to see a kid develop and grow. Like, I've got a group of 3 kids that, they've been with me since I've started as head coach of the team, and this is their 4th year on the team. And I know how hard it is to going to be to say goodbye to those kids, but to watch them grow year after year, not only as hockey players, but just as people. It's a pretty special thing to be a part of. And whether you get a kid for a year or 2 years or 3 years, we really pride ourselves on the relationships that we have with our kids. We want to create an environment that everybody wants to be a part of in, and I think we've done a really good job at doing that. So I would say growth as the individual and the relationships that you create throughout the state is pretty awesome.
And before I let you go, is there any kids on the team worthy of being in the Flow Challenge with the Flow?
We've got a couple kids. I'm going to have to send you some clips. That hair's starting to grow, and I got a couple boys that would love to be on that. We've been watching those clips, and it absolutely, we'll be sending a couple to you over the break for sure.
All right. So thank you very much, Zach, for joining us here on Hockey Time, and good luck to you guys the rest of the season.
Thank you guys for having me, and thank you to you and Sean for everything that you do. You guys have really taken hockey in Michigan to the next level. It's just to the quality of players that we've gotten because of the exposure, and it's all credit to you guys as well. So thank you for everything that you guys do.
And we appreciate the support. And that was our Coach's Corner, brought to you by our friends at the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association. It's time now for our Wall Award update, brought to you by our friends at Warrior Hockey. So, Sean, we're going to be making some changes possibly after the new year.
Yeah, it's interesting, John, as we've talked about during the show, there are a lot of guys that are putting up huge numbers in goal this year. It's funny. So when we first started putting this list together, August or September, whatever, it was difficult to find 10. Yeah. And now it's very easy to find 10. And what I mean by that is a compliment, because there are so many goalies right now that are night in, night out, putting up the numbers and finding a way to get things done. So, Johnny, there will be changes coming early in the year. It's just a question of who.
All right, you can cast your vote for the top 10 at our website at statechampsnetwork.com. The leading vote getter will never get removed from the top 10. So keep on voting. And that was our Wall Award update, brought to you by our friends at Warrior Hockey. Let's preview the week ahead in high school hockey. And how about the game on Wednesday night between number 7 Hartland and number 22 Livonia Stevenson?
Long-time rivals. It's always fun when they get together. This is a big test for that young Stevenson team because you can see in some of their big games, John, they're this close. They're this close. And I think the sign that they're starting to come together and grow is when they turn some of those tight losses into W's. They're looking to flip that script. Hey, listen, Hartland's one of the best in the state. So what better way to test yourself with that?
A MIHL battle on Wednesday night between number 16 Warren De La Salle and number 4 Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Hey, you know, DLS has been a fantastic story under Coach LaRose so far. This is a dandy of an MIHL game. They're looking to make a statement again. Hey, listen, all SM, top 5 team in the state. You know, what better way to do it in your league, a rival, et cetera, et cetera. What better way to say we've arrived than finding a way to knock off a powerful, powerful Eaglet team?
Number 13, Flint Powers, they head on over to the
West Side.
as they take on number 21, East Grand Rapids.
Yeah, this is a solid matchup. 2 top 25 teams. And if you're keeping track at home, I think this is number 7. I'd like to clone myself and be at that game. Joe Green's been outstanding for EGR. 145 goals against average, 926 save percentage. How about Blake Ziotin? $185 goals against average, 919 save percentage. Fantastic matchup. You know, it's tough to replace a stud like he had to do, but hey, say it all the time. Travis Perry is one of those guys that he just reloads and finds a way to coach him up.
On Thursday, we talk about Orchard Lake St. Mary's again. They go on the road at number 15, Brother Rice.
Yeah, you know, we both saw them. I've had a chance to see them twice. I stand by what I said. I think this is a top 5 team in the state. There's some good depth there. Obviously, Will Keene and net. Luka Pivic is a young man that's off to a good start with a couple of goals and 10 assists. And for Rice, you know, I think we know about Roman Valer. Johnny Coons is a minute eater. He's out there. He's such a tower of power on the blue line. You know, he's got that size, and he just plays a ton of minutes. That'll be a great matchup for both those teams.
So the Bay Reps, they're ranked 11th in Sean's top 25 rankings. They head to Southeast Michigan to take on number 8 U of D Jesuit.
Well, the secret's out for Jesuit. You know, we talked about it early in the year. You know, can they live up to the promise so far that they have? The thing that jumps out to me about UDJ is they're getting productivity from all over the place. And there's that D word again. You know, when you get the depth at this level, it's so huge. Big test for both of them.
In the Lansing area on Friday night, it's Cap City taking on the Eastside Stars. The last time they played, it was that 35 overtime game in the regional final, which Cap City won 1-0.
That was funny. Like a whole bunch of us were like following on Twitter that night. I know you were on that waiting for like updates and everything. And it went into the 58th overtime and the 59th overtime. Cap City off to a 5-2-1 start. Chase Potter leading the way. 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points. Trevor Nightingale, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. Eastside Stars, 4-2-2. Boy, they want to limit you. You know, that's kind of the thing they do. They're being led up front by Jack Monahan. 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points. But both Leland and Reed playing well for them. That's been a staple of Eastside the last couple of years, is finding a way to good goaltending, and they got a couple guys that are working right now. And
on Cap City and Eastside Stars, they have a player in the flow.
Yeah, that's you love to see that as well. It's great that so many people are getting involved with that, and you know, 'tis the season. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow.
Our next State Champs Game Time Live broadcast will be this Thursday as Howell takes on Brighton.
What a fun night that should be, you know, just a few days before Christmas out in Livingston County. Boy, there's some great hockey being played out there. Make no mistake about it. I mean, Johnny, you look at it, 3 teams in the top 10 out there. I mean, that's pretty stinking cool. First, you start, obviously, with Brighton. And when you talk about Brighton, you talk about the same 2 guys that we talked about for 3 years up front. Duffney has been on fire. 13 goals, 14 assists, 27 points. How about Petit? 15 goals already on the year. 8 assists for 23 points. And Levi, simply put, is still one of the best, if not the best, goaltenders in the state. And, when I look at Howell, I saw them a couple times early on. There's good depth for Howell right now. Multiple guys up front that can hurt you. Obviously, they have a goaltender that is on everybody's list. He's on our list as well. I think they've done a really good job of flipping the script with this team. I really do. Rocky and Keith, the entire staff, this is a team in a right place right now, and boy, they'd love nothing more than to knock off their longtime rivals. Johnny, it'll be great. That's a beautiful barn. 2 fired up fan bases. We can't wait to be out there Thursday night.
The game will be on our YouTube page starting after 7 o'clock. Sean and Barbecue Mike on the call.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Johnny. Having the whole crew out there, what a dandy. Anytime you can get 2 top 10 teams, it's amazing how that works out, but can't thank the great folks from both communities for inviting us out, having us out there, and we're the ones that are getting the treat because that should be a fantastic hockey game.
Yeah, all of Livingston County will be at this game. Our buddies, Bill Kahn, Tim, Eric, and of course, our big-time buddy, Casey Campbell.
Looking forward to it. Always a pleasure to see those guys. Ran into all of them in Livonia, but when they're on their home turf, it's really something special.
Absolutely, especially with Casey, because on Thursday, he's going to say,
"It's game day."
So that is it for another edition of State Champs Hockey Time. Sean, happy holidays to your family, and we're going to be back in a few weeks.
Right back to you, my friend, and to everybody else out there, and you know what? We'll see you at the rink.
State Champs Hockey Time is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic. The future of education begins at ltu.edu. State Champs Hockey Time is also presented by Alto Equipment, Michigan's #1 construction equipment provider, proudly representing the industry's top brands. Get the right equipment for your project every time with Alto Equipment. Warrior Hockey is proud to support Michigan High School Hockey Player and Goalie of the Year awards. Warrior Hockey is made for this. The Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association, celebrating the 50th anniversary of high school hockey in Michigan. For schedule, scores, and standings, go to the hub, mihshockeyhub.com. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. And Michigan Army National Guard, proud sponsor of the Michigan High School Athletic Association.